Look how far I've stretched this fuel hose. I don't think it can stretch much further than that. Ha 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 ha. Okay, now we can go ahead and just wait for our locos and hop back on, hopefully gracefully. Nope. Try again. Okay, that's good. Yeah, look at that train. There's a lot of weight right there. Almost 1,400 tons snaking around the valley. We're going full throttle right now because we have a crazy set of hills in front of us. We've got almost 1,400 ton behind us going up this hill, and it's raining, so good luck to us. I think we might be in trouble here actually. The wheels are slipping even with the sand going. We can't afford to stall this train. Come on DH4, you can do this. Come on. Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. This is episode 11 of Derail Valley career mode, and today we are based here at the steel mill. We did make it here in the last episode, episode 10, card above, if you haven't seen that one yet. So in episode 10 we did make it from food factory up here, top of the map, and we came all the way down with our load of scrap metal, and that was quite a journey, that one, because we used the slug. And the slug is here basically today at the steel mill, but I figure I'm not going to use that anymore. I think I've gotten my money's worth out of it, more or less, because I've been driving it for the last 2 or 3 episodes there. And yeah, so today we've got something a little bit more simplistic, hopefully. Not going to be running these weird DE2 slug and DH4 combos that we've been running in the last episode. We're going to just keep it nice and simple. We've got 2 jobs here to do today, and they are quite hefty. One of them is 798 tons, as you can see there, and the other one is 570 tons, so a little bit less, but still, nonetheless, it is still a record 1,368 ton, which is the most I've ever hauled so far in Derail Valley. So we're breaking new barriers as we go in career mode, aren't we? So yes, we're based here at the steel mill today. Our 2 jobs have us going to the same destination. We've got a nice set of inclines coming out of here, out of the steel mill. But once we get over those, hopefully it's going to be smooth sailing. We'll be hanging a left and coming down, all the way down to Harbour and Town. Now, we've been to Harbour and Town before. I'm sure you guys and girls have seen it before as well. But what makes today's run special is that, well, it's pouring with rain, and, well, it is 8 a.m. in the morning. But yes, the most important thing is we're going to be using some new locomotives. Well, not new, but we're going to be setting them up in a new way, which I haven't done before so far in career mode. So let's head on out there into the pouring rain and just have a look at the, just have a look at what's going on today. So there's a lot of rails in here in this yard that we have to deliver. And basically, the first set of wagons are right here, FH, that is 97. Yes, that's the one. I'll make sure that handbrake's off while we're here. And the other rake of wagons is this one right here, which is FH12, which is this job right here. So yep, just make sure that handbrake's off as well. Very good. So yes, these are the 2 sets of consists or rakes of wagons, which we'll have to basically combine together and take on over to Harbour and Town. Now this, as I was mentioning before, is almost 1,400 ton worth of load, okay? So nothing to be sneezed at, and definitely not something to be undertaken without some due care and responsibility, especially in career mode, because if you're not careful in career mode, you can cause all sorts of issues, and those issues cost money. And there's only a finite amount of money that you've got in career mode, dictated by just how much money you've got in your wallet at the time. So derailing and re-railing and all that stuff costs money. So I'm going to try and avoid causing trouble today for a change, hopefully. So this episode should be fairly straightforward. We've got here 2 beasts. So I've managed to summon another DH4. We've got our slug down there, as I mentioned. I'm not going to be taking that anymore. We're just going to park the slug up. We're going to keep things simple, back to basics this one. So we've got here 2 diesel hydraulic locomotives, and the keen-eyed viewers amongst you would have noted in the last episode that I did have the slug connected to this locomotive, one of these, but of course there's no generator in these locomotives, so the slug's not really useful, I should say. But the DE2 was also connected, so yes, there's that. So anyway, just going to go ahead and get set up here. Now, if you want to learn a little bit more about how this DH4 works, I'll put a card up above in the top of the screen where you can check out my first look at the DH4, and I was pulling around 580 tons or so with it at that time. But yes, these locomotives are quite heavy duty. They are rated for quite a lot of load indeed. Each one of them can do, I would say, somewhere in the region of 1,000 to probably 1,300 to 1,400 tons. So realistically, it's possible that we could do today's run with just one of these locomotives, but of course there's all sorts of variables in the game, isn't there? There's things like rain, which causes wet rails, that can reduce your traction, cause more wheel slip, and there's also things called inclines, otherwise known as grades or hills. All of those things can reduce the effective tractive effort of your locomotive. So that's why I thought I would get two of these DH4s together, and combined these should easily have a 2,000 ton rating. And this is coming in just rather slow right now, isn't it? But yes, this is the proper way to do things. So in this episode I wanted to just go back to basics, because I didn't want to mix and match some unsuitable locomotives like I did in episode 10. I'm just going to be combining locomotives that are very similar or the same, and basically that's going to allow us to get more predictable results, hopefully. So just hooking up to the first rake of wagons here, make sure the handbrakes are off. We'll need to pull forward and then hook up to the second rake of wagons there, and basically assemble our train and get it ready for running. So let's go ahead and just yep, I think I've left the handbrake on in the lead locomotive. There we go. Should start moving now. And of course this locomotive is completely dead. We haven't turned this one on yet, so let's go ahead and get this one running as well. We're going to need both of these locomotives running, getting out of here at least, because there are some nasty inclines heading out of here, like I did just show briefly on the map there. So we'll need two of these locomotives going in this wet weather, as well as the inclines. And there's our second rake of wagons. So we'll need to pull forward and just go onto that adjacent track there on the right hand side and get all coupled up. Now, one other consideration for career mode is just ensuring that we run in the most economical way possible. So even if that means turning off one of these locomotives, so be it. Now, these locomotives operate in a very interesting manner. They are not diesel electric, they are called diesel hydraulic. So there's a engine RPM gauge here, the grey one, and then there's a red needle, which is the gearbox RPM. So there's also an oil temperature gauge here, and basically the bigger the difference between your engine and gearbox speed, the more friction and oil temperature you generate within the gearbox. Now obviously as the red needle gets higher, that means you're speeding up. Now that's all well and good when you're on level ground, but when you're going up a hill, your engine's going to be screaming and your gearbox is going to be going slow. So that's when your oil temps are going to be going up. So that's going to be interesting. Okay, so just heading out of the yard here, and won't be too much longer now. We'll be making our way out of here. What we need to do is, once the end of this consist has passed a certain point, I need to put the brakes on and just flip the points, the switch, and then we'll go ahead and reverse in and pick up the second rake of wagons, and that will be our consist for today. Right, so I'm just reversing the train now into the siding where the second rake of wagons are, and we are going just a little bit too fast here, so we just have to make sure that we are not going too fast by putting the brakes on a little bit and just watching the speedometer here. I'm just going to do a little bit of a dirty kind of shunt, I guess, and because I can't be bothered getting out and supervising the connection of these wagons, I'm just going to watch the speedometer, and I'm going to watch the speedometer for an awkward bump. And when I see that awkward bump, I'll know that we have actually connected to the rest of our wagons. Here comes the awkward bump. Any second now, you'll see that speedo needle just change, and that's when you'll know that we've run into the train. Run into the rest of the train. Oh, there we go. So that's a handy hint for those of you who are wondering how to do that. It is by no means the correct way to do things, but it's the way that I do them. Okay, so let's go to the end of the train now. Well, actually I need to go to the point where the first rake of wagons made contact with the second rake and basically connect them up, because the couplings will not be connected there. We'll need to connect them up, connect up the brake hoses, and then we'll be good to go. Right, so here's the, no, not that one. Yep, here it is. Can see because the brake hoses are dangling down and the coupler is also not connected. So let's go and fix that now. Go ahead and turn on the air so that we can charge up the rest of the train. Very good. And we'll just go ahead and just release this handbrake because I had kept it applied earlier. Okay, let's go back to the head of the train. Tell you what, get some good in-game exercise doing all this running around. But we want the lead locomotive here. We can see they're both running now, which is very good. I did make a mistake in a previous episode where I forgot to turn on all the locomotives, and yeah, that was great, wasn't it? Not making that mistake this time. You can see we've got the headlights going, so that's very good. And a very imposing look that these two DH4s have, that's for sure. Right, okay, so I think for the majority of this run I will be in the lead locomotive, so I'm just going to go ahead and turn off the cab lights here in the trailing locomotive. Because there is a multiple unit connection, as they call it, make sure the handbrake's off. Any commands I give in this leading locomotive with regards to throttle, power, or throttle, brake, all that kind of stuff, will be mirrored in that trailing locomotive. So if I give 10% throttle here, that locomotive behind us will also be giving 10%. Right, so reverser forward, and we better get this train moving, and we better get it moving quick because we've got some hills in front of us and we're going to need as much momentum as we can get. So just nice and slow to take the slack out of the train. But once it's moving, I'm afraid we're going to have to go and give it the beans. Yes, so we've got some inclines ahead of us. We've got a fairly crazy hill. So let's just go ahead and put this map down here. We can estimate where I am right here. I'm right about in this location, just leaving the steel mill. And yeah, we're just at that junction there, so right about here I think, and our hills are just in front of us. So yeah, as I mentioned before, got some gnarly inclines in front of us, and then we'll be turning left eventually. Right, so let's get the power going. You want to be careful here because it is raining and we can't just jam the power on and expect this thing to just accelerate like no one's business. You can see there the engine's spun up to 800 RPM and the gearbox is still doing a very casual 200 RPM, so lots of friction there in the gearbox right now, and we are nowhere near full throttle. Like I was saying, we don't want to jam the throttle on right now because we've got wet rails, and even though we've got our sander to reduce our wheel slip, the sanding is a limited supply, so we want to try and save that as well if we can. Once the speed increases a bit more, we can add a little bit more throttle, but we have to bear in mind as well the rear of the train is still going through a set of points as well, so that's another thing to just be mindful of there. Right, so picking up speed, which is good, it's always handy. We need to get as much momentum as possible, so let's go ahead and add a little bit more throttle, up to 1000 plus RPM there, and our gearbox is catching up a little bit. It's at 400 RPM. We've still got that rather big gap in our gearbox and engine RPMs there, so that's why our oil temps are beginning to rise, but at the same time we've got a healthy buffer in our oil temps. We've got our oil temp cooler there, that blue light, that's going to turn on very shortly, I'm sure, so that will help keep our oil temperatures in check. And we're at 20 k's an hour now, and there goes our cooler. You can see that blue light's now turned on, and that's going to be keeping our oil temperatures just under control, hopefully. So let's get the throttle on. Yep, okay, as soon as I do that full throttle, you can hear that buzzer. I think we might need one notch of sand, and I'm just attacking the throttle here. We're going full throttle right now because we have a crazy set of hills in front of us. and we need all the power we can out of these two DH4s. We're revving these things out like no one's business. We've got almost 1,400 ton behind us going up this hill, and it's raining, so good luck to us. Okay, thankfully we are going okay when it comes to momentum. I want to make sure that we keep our momentum going though, because we are definitely not out of the woods right now. We've still got more of a grade in front of us, and our engines are just revving right out to 1,300 RPM there. Just keeping tabs on the throttle and oil temps there. We'll have to reduce the throttle down a bit because our oil temps are getting quite elevated, even with the cooler blasting away, the oil cooler. And it's very easy to blow these gearboxes up if you're not careful. But going up a hill like this, or going up hills like this with a heavy load behind you, momentum is your friend. If you're going slow, you will stall the train. Especially when it's raining and when you got wet rails. You need as much speed as you can summon, because that will help you get over that hill. Yeah, okay, majority of the train is now going up the hill, and then I must say these locomotives, it really seems like they're struggling right now, so we'll keep the power where it is. I can definitely hear the whining of the gearbox. It's getting a little bit lower in pitch, so let's try without the sands. Oh, no, there goes the buzzer. The wheels are spinning, and the speedometer's artificially increasing there. It means the wheels are spinning, so yeah, we need the sander going because there is a lot of torque being delivered right now. And this train will stall if we're not careful. And especially with these wet rails as well, the traction is reduced, so... And the annoying thing about stalling the train is that you have to reverse all the way back and try again. Hopefully we won't need to do that though, because it looks like we are making some good progress still. The speed has dropped, but we are maintaining a healthy level of momentum still. We are above 10k an hour, and it looks like we are almost out of the woods. We've got our set of points coming up. Oh, no, there goes the wheel spin again. I just tried without the sand. No, the wheel slip. Wheel spin keeps coming back. The wheel slip, I should say. The wheels are slipping, not spinning. They're spinning by design, but now they're slipping, which is not by design. Just come back to the trailing locomotive here. Open the door up. You know what? I'm going to try to turn the engine off in this in this trailing locomotive, and just see how far we get. Because we're almost over the hill now. Oh, there goes the wheel spin. Wheel slip. Get the sand back on. Okay. I think we might be in trouble here actually. The wheels are slipping even with the sand going. We can't afford to stall this train. Come on, DH4, you can do this. I know that's a heavy load, but you are one strong engine. Come on. I might have to hop back actually and just turn on that second DH4. So let's see. But I do have this sinking feeling that we are going to stall this train in just a moment, because we are not quite over the hill. And yep, speeds come down to 5k an hour. You know what? Quick, let's go and turn this second engine on. What have I done? And I had the throttle already open. The first thing this thing did was start slipping its wheels, but the sand's on, so... Come on. There's a second DH4 now. Joining in. Let's get the cab light going here so I can see what I'm doing. Gonna need a little bit more helping hand right now just to get this train over this hill, and then afterwards we'll have lots of time to save some fuel by turning off this trailing DH4. Yep, okay, that's good. Well, there goes the oil cooler, but at least we are picking up speed, so that's good. See, these are the situations where you just need that extra helping hand. Just turn off the starter power there, because we don't need that. You know what else we don't need? You'll never guess. The engine! Alright, well, I think now might be okay. Interesting, we can see the gearbox speed. Obviously we've turned the engine off, so we're back to just that one DH4 at the moment. Things have gotten a lot quieter now, haven't they? Alright, let's leave things as they are and see if one engine can't take us the rest of the way. Oh, I'm asking a lot of this DH4, I really am, I realise that. No, I'm going to have to put full sand on right now. I think we should be picking up speed in just a moment, so I think we're good now. I think we are going to be okay with that second DH4 there behind us just turned off. So we'll be running with just one engine. Once we get a bit of speed going as well, let's take off one notch of sand. Oil temps are still elevated, but the oil cooler is on. Come on. No, got more wheel spin, wheel slip. And there goes the oil temps into the yellow zone. Yeah, we're doing 1200 RPM and still going quite slowly. And we are really getting our money's worth out of this DH4. There goes the wheel slip again. I'll just back off the throttle a bit, because the moment I get onto it... Okay. I think we're okay with the sander off for the moment. Like I said, we should be on level ground here any moment now. At least the weather has subsided as well, the inclement weather. So no rain, which is good. The rails should be drying up. Excellent. Right. Picking up speed, our points are set correctly to go off into the left direction there. Try and get a bit more speed up if we can. Let the oil temps rise a bit more, that's fine. Let's go, let's go. Off to the left we go. And then we should be coming up to a nice level straight section shortly. And hopefully we'll be gaining a bit more speed, because this will be like 100k an hour section in just a moment. So we should be able to just get onto this straight and level and get some speed going. And really I should be using that second DH4 right now just to boost us up a bit. But I'm just trying to save a bit of fuel. Hopefully save some running costs here. Just back off the throttle just a touch. One notch is enough to keep the oil temps in check. I might just back off a little bit more actually. Oh, I think it just changed gear. Yeah, I noticed there's a bit of a shift in the engine RPM, more so than normal. These things have, I believe, a 3-speed gearbox, 3-speed automatic. And I think the way they work in real life is that they drain and fuel certain torque converters to achieve that gear ratio change. Oh, that's a lot quieter, isn't it? Okay, a little bit of serenity at least for the moment. Let's keep this train moving. Should be hopefully mostly uneventful now as we snake our way towards Harbour and Town. So we'll try and keep this momentum going, maybe increase the speed a little bit more actually. We shouldn't have too much trouble here. Yep, there's our 100k an hour limit. No hills in sight anymore. And actually, in not too long of a distance now to go, we'll have some downhills to contend with. So we are basically in this region about here. We've got this nice straight section coming up. And then we'll be, after that we'll be snaking our way down. There's a set of points, go straight through them. And then head down to Harbour and Town. So yeah, oil temps are elevated, but that's fine. Nowhere near the red zone at the moment. And yeah, we'll be snaking our way down to Harbour and Town there before too long. Just having a look here at the drop cards here. Looks like both of these consists are actually going to E8I or E81, which is basically the same location there. It is the same location at Harbour and Town, which is great to see, because that means we won't have to drop off one load of wagons in one area and then run around and drop the other load in a different area. We can just leave them all in the same siding, and hopefully that's possible, because it is quite a long train. But we do know that Harbour and Town is quite a big area as well, quite a big depot with some very long sidings, so I'm hoping we'll have just enough space to fit this entire consist in that one siding, and then we'll pick up our nice payday as well. We should be making yeah, some really nice cash today. Nice chunk of change indeed. I just realized there I was almost cooking the gearbox, so that was lucky. Could have caused some real damage there, but it wouldn't have been the end of the world. We do have that second DH4 behind us, and that is basically pristine. And the terrain ahead of us, as I mentioned, is mostly level and even downhill, so soon we'll be having to manage our momentum in the opposite way by making sure that we don't have too much energy, and that means applying some brakes. These things actually do have an engine braking feature as well, which I haven't actually used much, I must say, so far. You can see there the gearbox and engine RPMs are more closely matched at the moment, so nice and smooth sailing just with the one engine right now. Got a little bit of a curve off to the left here, and soon we'll be passing through a tunnel, and then we'll be snaking our way down ever closer to Harbour and Town. So we'll just look out for that set of points coming up soon, and we are nice and happy on the tacho there. Well, we'll continue on, and I'll check in with you shortly. Right, so the set of points are coming up just ahead here. We need to make sure that we head off to the right hand side. We'll be going through a tunnel immediately after that. And the points are set correctly because I've been through here before, coming the opposite direction. And so I would have gone through these points. And the points in this game are set exactly how you left them the last time you were in a particular location. And if you haven't been to a particular location before, they are set in a default way, which is whichever way the game developers have deemed fit to set them. But just be mindful of that. If you've been through a certain area before and you've changed the points over, when you come back the other way, just make sure that they are set the right way, otherwise you'll be heading off in the wrong direction. Okay, I've got about 1 bar of braking going here, and I'll probably have to keep the brakes on for some time as we just continue our way through the valley here. We are coming up upon some downhill sections, so we'll have to manage our speed like I mentioned just before. Just make sure we don't go too fast, because we've got some 40k an hour sections. Horn. 40k an hour sections here. Actually, there is one coming up right here. There's a bit of a sharp right hand curve coming up here, so yep, there's a 40, and there's a downhill section that's minus 1 point something percent, 1.4 or something. So let's keep the brakes on. We don't want to go past 40 right now. And because this is a hefty train, it will speed up quite fast on the downhill grades, so you don't want to let the train run away from you. If I had the brakes off completely now, I would be in big trouble. Could even derail the locomotive, or locomotives, or the entire train. Already I'm probably going slightly too fast for this curve, but it's fine. We're not doing 40, so we're slightly below the limit, so that's fine. We'll keep her going. Just nurse this brake. Just Just having a little bit of a peek at what the yard layout is in the E yard, which is where we need to be at not the steel mill, at the harbour and town. What am I doing? There's a lot of pages in this little book. So yes, basically E yard is all the way across there, and I'm sure we are not too far away now, as we are just coasting once again. Well, we've got the brake on, had the brake on for a little while now with this heavy train, so if we drill into the E yard a little bit further, you can see the E8I, sorry, is 2 across to the right hand side, so should be fairly easy to get in and just dump our entire consist there and pick up our cash. So this run has been, I must say, probably one of the more sedate episodes, thankfully, in career mode so far. And the DH4s, I must say, I know the run isn't quite over yet. I should probably save this for the summary, but oh, the rain started again. But yes, I must say these two DH4s make a very competent pair, and probably something I'll be hanging on to for a little while in career mode, maybe. Try and get a few more episodes out of this engine pair, because they are quite capable. Got a bit of speed going around this curve here. Yeah, look at that train. Just look at how long it is. There's a lot of weight right there. Almost 1,400 tons. Snaking around the valley. Coming out to our set of points here just before the harbour, and we've got quite a bit of speed. We're right at the limit here, so let's get the brakes on. Going just a little bit too fast. Okay, we've got the speed under control, so that's fine. This is the last tunnel, and then the other side of this tunnel, it'll we'll get that nice vista of harbour and town. We'll just get off the brake a little bit here, and here it is, the big reveal, our destination. And it looks like it's gotten a little bit cloudy and rainy once again. Our map's fallen off the dashboard here. Yeah, so we've come down. We're basically right around here right now. We've got our last little leg here into harbour and town. We've got some fairly steep declines as we make our way into harbour and town. And there it is there, the vast expanse of the depot. Just being hidden a little bit by some fog. Rain started again, but that's neither here nor there for us, because we are going to be rolling into town right now with the force of gravity. Literally don't have to touch the throttle whatsoever anymore for this run. I think we can just keep our hand on the brake and nurse this train into harbour and town. Look at that. Got those two needles lined up almost perfectly. Not quite, but there's only a 200 RPM difference there, so yeah, transmission's happy. Second DH4 is still off. Haven't had to turn that on. And we're doing well. So we'll just hang on for the moment. This is the last section, last set of curves here, and then we'll be into harbour and town. One thing I will be doing at the end of this episode as well is just doing a quick manual service of these locomotives, because I do have manual servicing license, and that cuts our cost, our fees in half basically, because if we let the computer service the locomotives, or going just slightly too fast here, the speed limit down here is 40. Coming into harbour here. So we just got to manage that. See that? This curve is 40. And we're doing just under 40 right now. So yes, once we dump our consist into the siding, we'll go ahead and go right here at this set of points. and that will take us into the servicing yard. Do a quick refill of the diesel there. I don't imagine that would cause too much damage today. There was a little bit of wheel slip, so we might have grinded the wheels down a little bit, but apart from that, I don't expect that our fees are going to be too high for running these locomotives today. And our fuel costs are hopefully in check as well, because I've only been running one locomotive for the majority of the run. It was good to have that second DH4 behind us though, that's for sure, for that initial section where the inclines were just a little bit nasty there. So we're just rolling into town, and it's just straight on into the E yard, and then we'll flip the points over and we'll go into E8I. Okay, so we want the second set of the second siding there, which I just need to make sure I get these points set, because I definitely don't want the inconvenience of getting this wrong and then having to reverse everything just to put it into the right siding. So I think it's that one there. I think we're good. Yep, I think we're good here. So we'll just coast on in. And I'll see if I can't do a rolling disconnection of the consist. We'll keep the locomotives moving. There's no time to waste now. I'm not sure I can get the time bonus on one of those jobs, to be honest with you, because I did do some off-camera trickery there with the first job, with one of those jobs where I was trying to pull a load that was way too heavy for one DH4. That was as part of another job, which didn't quite work out. But anyway, we should be getting the time bonus for at least one of these jobs, is what I'm trying to say here. So we'll keep it rolling, and in just a moment I'll head outside and we'll get prepared. Actually, we'll get prepared now, get the throttle off to do that rolling disconnect. So here we go. Head on outside here. Easiest way to do this is to jump across to the other side like this, and then we disconnect this brake valve here. Well, close up the brake valve on the loco so that we don't lose air pressure. And then once the back of the train is in the siding, we'll just give it another moment. Hopefully it can fit. Oh, we're coming up to the other end of the siding here. I'm hoping we can fit. I'm hoping we can fit. We'll get ready to disconnect. Okay, we'll just give it another few more seconds. Come on. Once I see the back of the... Okay, the back of the train is just into the siding. Alright, quick. So disconnect. And we'll jump across. Quick, quick, quick. And... No. There we go. And disconnect the brake. And the brakes will automatically apply on that consist. And it looks like we have done it just right. I don't think you can get any better than that. That was a bit of a slight fluke, I must say, but that timing worked out just right as the rest of these locomotives just go through the siding here and onto the main, or onto the main section of the yard at least. We can jam the brakes on now and just reverse all the way back through. And we'll just apply the handbrake here on this one locomotive. Get ready to jam the reverser into reverse. And apply some throttle, get this thing moving. What we'll do as well is obviously set, whoops, where's the points? Where's the points? I don't want to go back into that same siding again. There it is. Just got that. We want to go straight ahead, or yeah, basically straight backwards. We want to reverse straight through the yard, and then whilst that's happening, I'll just get out and apply the handbrakes on at least one of these wagons here. Probably should have waited a few more seconds. I would have had less distance to run, but anyway, we'll just go ahead and apply at least one set of handbrakes on here. That means that we can complete our job successfully. Okay, now we can go ahead and just wait for our locos and hop back on, hopefully gracefully. Nope. Try again. Okay, that's good. Alright, get the cab light going. Right, let's yeah, I guess we'll switch our lights around for what it's worth. I'm just being a bit pedantic here. Alright, let's go ahead. Let's get the power going. Our next stop is the station building, where we'll validate our 2 drops and we'll be scoring a big chunk of cash. So I'll catch you in just a moment. Here's good enough for me. I think there's the station building just over there, over to the left hand side. So handbrake on and let's go there. Let's take a look at these 2 beasts that got us here. The 2 DH4s, definitely a nice combo, well matched because they're basically the same locomotive, so that always helps. Right, so here we are. Let's go ahead and get these jobs validated, and we should be getting our cash. Oh, we missed out on the time bonus on this one. 96 minutes as opposed to 69. That's a shame. At least we got our $31,000 though. And here comes the other job here, and this is, well, we obviously didn't get a time bonus because this one's a bit of an old job that I had laying around, unfortunately. Still got our $40,000 though, so yeah, all up, we're up to $131,000 in career mode right now, and that is the most I've got ever made so far. And it looks like we've got the 2 fees, obviously now. Yep, we can service both of these locomotives and basically pay only half of each of those fees. So yeah, and we've got a whole slew of jobs here as well. We are in Harbour and Town, obviously, but we might take a look at that a little bit later. Let's go ahead and service these locos first. So I thought I'd stop being lazy and for a change save a bit of money by servicing these locomotives manually, which is the way it should be done because that's what I've paid good money for that manual licensing service for. We'll just go over this turntable here, which I've made sure is set correctly, otherwise we'd be in a hole right now. And straight ahead into the servicing bay. And I need to figure out how I'm going to do this. I think we can fit both of these in here. Do I want to do the rear one first? Yeah, I've got enough space to go forward. You know what? I might actually just back up and do this leading locomotive first. So let's do that, I think. Right. Now, this locomotive I think is... Oh yeah. Actually, I think this might have been the trailing locomotive from before. No, it can't be because this was the one with the engine running. Never mind. I'm just losing my mind here a little bit. I think, yep, I haven't really used much diesel on this trip. Used quite a bit of sand though, and a little bit of oil, a little bit of wheel damage, a little bit of mechanical powertrain there. But aside from that, oh look at this hose. Look how far I've stretched this fuel hose. I don't think you can stretch much further than that. That is one long fuel hose. Ha 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 ha. Right, okay, let's pay for this. Otherwise, we won't be able to get our resources. There we go. So, yeah, it's not much. It's only a little bit of cash there. And we'll go ahead and just bring the other one in. We'll move this thing forward and service the second one. Okay, just pick this fuel nozzle up, plug it into this trailing locomotive, which yeah has hardly used any diesel. Same amount of sand because the sanding system is linked to get together. Bit of wheel damage, a little bit of mechanical powertrain, but yeah, again only chump change compared to what we would have paid if we had serviced this using the fee system. So manual servicing, folks. I know it's a little bit tedious here, as you can see, but oh, it can be made a little bit fun and interesting. And yes, on that note, I think we will leave these locomotives here in this engine shed. Let's go back inside to the station house. And yeah, oh, looks like we've got a little steam shunter here. Look at that, steam shunter. Maybe the steam shunter will make a return in a future episode. Okay, let's summarize, shall we? Just as the sun's going down, I think it's a good way to end this episode. You can see there the fees Oh yeah. Somehow they've racked up a little more fee, I think. I'm not too sure what's going on there with that. But anyway, we've done our manual servicing. We've saved quite a bit of cash there. There's a lot of jobs here, folks. And I'm not too sure which one we're going to be doing. There is 118 grand in our wallet though. And it looks like we've got quite a few freight hauls, logistical hauls. Let's go ahead and look at our licenses. You know what? I'm thinking maybe get the DM3 license. That's only 30 grand. We can easily afford that. And I don't know, maybe even get Hazmat. That's 40 grand. Can't get Hazmat 2, but we can definitely get Hazmat 1. And with Hazmat 1, it will allow us to do some of these Hazmat jobs. So, for example, this one. No, that's a shunting job. I don't want to do that. Maybe, oh yeah, this one, deliver diesel. That's 26k, only 135 ton. We could take the steam shunter actually over to City Southwest. That'll be a fun little run. Part of me is worried that I won't even make it without refilling the water or something. I don't know. That steam shunter really has limited range, I must say, from previous episodes there. We do have our expert shovel though, so that might be a one to do there. Let me know in the comments what you guys and girls are thinking as well for the next episode. We've got quite a bit of cash, like I said, 100 grand, so yeah, okay. Alright, let's do this. Let's just pay our fees off. And I've made up my mind. I'm going to get this hazmat job. So let's go ahead and just do that. No fees here. Thank you very much. Right, let's go ahead and get our hazmat. Hazmat 1. We'll make this episode another episode where we pick up one more license. So that'll knock us over the threshold of halfway. So there goes 40 grand. Still got 78k. And yes, there's our Hazmat 1 license. Very good. And I just realized our insurance copay has gone up by $38,000. That's awesome, isn't it? Anyway, we've got Hazmat 1 now. So with that in mind, let me know what you folks are thinking. Because, yeah, look at that. We've got quite a slew of licenses now. And, yeah, I must say, career mode is looking good. We are not bankrupt by any stretch. Maybe we can do this job next. Maybe we can do this job with just a little shunter of some description. I don't know. There's a few jobs here anyway. Maybe in the next episode we'll take a good look at some of these jobs. This is something different. Going up to goods factory in town. I want to do something a little bit different for a change. I don't want to keep going back and forth from the steel mill and the harbour in town. I want to try going up maybe this way for a little change and go up to goods factory maybe. Maybe we'll do that in the next episode. That's a healthy 42 grand as well, that one. And only 360 ton train mass. So we could easily pull that off with one DH4 or even just the steam shunter. Maybe we'll do that, I'm thinking. Let me know in the comments anyway, like I said before, what you're thinking. It's 8:30 in the evening, so I think it's time to wrap this episode up, ladies and gents. So thank you so much for watching. If you made it this far, really appreciate your viewership as always. If you're new to the channel, thank you so much for joining as well. Hope you have enjoyed this, and feel free to subscribe if you haven't already, and please like the video if you did like it. You know, I am missing the DM3 right now, card up above on one of my previous DM3 videos if you want to check that out. I really have some fun with that DM3, but yes, DM3 in the future, I hope. But catch you all in the next one.